Good morning, students. Welcome to the class again. We were discussing pinacol-pinaclone rearrangement followed by McMurray coupling and McMurray reactions. Now we will discuss semi-pinacol-semi-pinaclone rearrangement. Semi-pinacol-pinaclone rearrangement. What is this semi-pinacol-pinaclone rearrangement? In pinacol-pinaclone rearrangement, we used to have two hydroxy groups. But here we will have one hydroxy and another leaving group. Okay, we will have only one hydroxy and another leaving group. So when we make this leaving group, when we activate this leaving group, so it will be leaving, generating a carbocation here. Once carbocation is generated, of course, other steps are similar to the pinacol-pinaclone rearrangement. Halogens will be easily form a bond with the silver reagent. So whenever we use silver will pick up this, will form a bond with the halogen. So here AgCl, a white precipitate will be formed, and we are generating a carbocation here. Now oxygen on its lone pair, with its lone pair, when it pushes its lone pair towards the carbon, it generates carbon-oxygen double bond. So one of the alkyl group from this carbon will migrate here. So obviously the product is pinacolone. So this is what is called semi-pinacol-pinaclone rearrangement. The only difference is here one hydroxy and another leaving group. In pinacol-pinaclone rearrangement, we must learn the selectivities. That means which hydroxy will be protonated and which will migrate. But here you don't need to look at that selectivity. Obviously the leaving group will be activated. That means always carbocation formation is possible at the leaving group. Okay. So that selectivity we don't need to study here. I'll give you one more example here. This diol, when it is treated with paratoluene sulfonyl chloride and under basic conditions, paratoluene sulfonyl chloride is a bulky reagent, so it can easily differentiate primary hydroxy, secondary hydroxy, and tertiary hydroxy. Here, this alcohol is primary alcohol, this alcohol is tertiary alcohol. So tertiary alcohol is more sterically crowded, hence paratoluene sulfonyl chloride can only approach this OH. It cannot approach tertiary alcohol. So generally what we will do is, we will take one equivalent, either one equivalent or just 1.1 equivalent of paratoluene sulfonyl chloride. Then it will undergo protection of alcohol group, less substituted alcohol group, less sterically crowded alcohol. Pyridine is a base which will pick up the protons from both oxygens. It doesn't matter. But paratoluene sulfonyl chloride is a bulky reagent, so it will react fastly with less sterically crowded hydroxy, whereas it reacts little bit slowly with more sterically crowded alcohol. So when we want to differentiate primary, secondary, and tertiary alcohols, what we need to do is, we need to take only one equivalent which is required for protection of one alcohol, and then we will do the reaction in a short time. Okay, so it can easily differentiate primary, secondary, and tertiary alcohols. Now you see OTS is a good leaving group. OTS is a good leaving group. When we use base, base will pick up the proton and oxygen. So what will happen? It generates oxide ion. It generates oxide ion. This oxide ion, this negative charge, will trigger the subsequent rearrangements. That means polarization towards carbon to generate the carbon oxygen double bond. Then migration of this double bond, this carbon to OTS carbon. Then OTS will be leaving. So what we are getting, previously it is 6-member ring. We have ring expansion. So we will get 7-member ring. Cycloheptanone. So here we don't have selectivities, okay? When we have a leaving group, somehow we will activate that leaving group. So other hydroxy, the hydroxy will become carbonyl. Leaving group will leave. So in the next example, it is a similar example. You write the product and it is treated with potassium tertiary butoxide. Potassium tertiary butoxide is a strong base. Generally, we will use same alcohol. So it generates a negative charge on this oxygen. This negative charge will be polarized. So it generates a carbon oxygen double bond. Now this bond will migrate. OTS will be leaving. So it is a disproportionation. One side we have ring expansion, other side we have ring contraction. So obviously it is a 5-membered and 7-membered ring fusion, and the carbonyl is in 7-membered ring. Okay, I'll give you the chair conformation how this alkyl group is migrating. When it is polarizing to generate the carbon oxide double bond, see this bond and this bond, they are parallel to each other. They are parallel to each other. So that is why this bond is anti-periplanar to this bond, anti-periplanar migration. So this is also anti-periplanar migration only. So this bond will migrate here. So these two are parallel to each other, so which are anti-periplanar to each other. We will discuss some more examples on this semi-pinacol-pinaclone rearrangement. Semi-pinacol-pinaclone rearrangement is also possible with epoxides. We don't need a hydroxy and a leaving group. Even with epoxides also, it is possible to have semi-pinacol-pinaclone rearrangement. This epoxide is a terminal epoxide. When it is treated with a Lewis acid, BF3 etherate is a Lewis acid. When it is treated with a Lewis acid, of course, oxygen is negatively charged. Oxygen is more electronegative atom, so it can easily bind with Lewis acid. then this interaction will generate a carbocation, a more stable carbocation. To reduce the positive charge on oxygen, this bond will break down and polarizes towards oxygen. So what we are getting? We are getting a stable carbocation. We are getting a stable carbocation and BF3. Right. So from this carbon, we have two hydrogens. Here, the hydride shift 1, 2 hydride shift will occur. 1, 2 hydride rearrangement will occur. So that generates the carbonyl. So what we are getting? We are getting a terminal, we are getting an aldehyde. So generally with the terminal epoxides, the product is aldehyde. But when we take internal epoxide, say for example, this fellow, it is an internal epoxide. When we do semi-pinacol-pinaclone rearrangement on internal epoxide, the product will be a ketone. The product will be a ketone. So I'll once this oxygen is activated by Lewis acid, of course, we generate this stable carbocation, right? When this bond is breaking and we are generating a carbon oxygen double bond, one of the hydrogen which is available on this carbon, now it will undergo a 1,2 hydride shift. So what is the product here? It is a ketone. It is a ketone. So in terminal epoxides will generate aldehyde, whereas internal epoxides will generate ketone in semi-pinacol-pinaclone rearrangement. These examples I'll give the products also. You try how these products are formed. When this epoxide, previous epoxide, we have an alkyl group here, but here we don't have alkyl. So it is a symmetrical epoxide on both sides. When it is treated with a Lewis acid, we are getting two products. Expected ketone as well as with ring contraction aldehyde. You try the mechanism how these products are formed for this. Similarly, when this epoxide is treated with a Lewis acid, diethyl aluminum chloride, it is undergoing ring expansion. That means if you know which one is the stable carbocation, whether the carbocation here or here, which one is more stable, when you know that, you can easily write the product. Similarly, when this epoxide is treated with magnesium bromide, of course I don't give the product here, you try this. In the next example, when this epoxide is treated with alkyl lithium, obviously it is undergoing epoxide opening. So R minus will approach this epoxide either from above the plane or below the plane based on the stereochemistry of this oxygen. Okay, so it is what alkyl lithium is doing. Alkyl lithium is just opening the ring. Okay, it is nucleophilic. substitution, but the same reaction when it is same epoxide, when it is treated with alkyl magnesium bromide, what we expect, we do expect the same product, because alkyl lithium and alkyl magnesium reagents are having similar reactivities. So we do expect the same nucleophilic substitution. Yes, so there is a possibility for the same nucleophilic substitution, but at the same time, it is also giving a different product. It is also giving a different product like this. What is this? Ring contraction. There is a formation of carbonyl, and on the carbonyl, Grignard addition is happening, right? How do we explain this? We can explain this when we know the reactivity of magnesium. Of course, alkyl magnesium bromides, Grignard reagents, are nucleophilic in nature, but at the same time, magnesium can act as a Lewis acid. Magnesium can act as a Lewis acid. So because of its Lewis acidic nature, first this epoxide will undergo semi-pinacol-pinaclone rearrangement to generate this product. And that product, again, Grignard addition will occur because aldehydes can easily react with the Grignard reagents. So because of magnesium, first it will undergo semi-pinacol-pinaclone rearrangement, and on the product, Grignard addition occurs. In the last example for semi-pinacol-pinaclone rearrangement, see how variety of reactions, a variety of products can be generated in a semi-pinacol-pinaclone rearrangement. When this molecule is treated with Lewis acid, what is the product? As usual, we can expect this epoxide, oxygen, can interact with Lewis acid. So it generates, just a minute, it generates more stable carbocation here. This is the more stable carbocation. Here it is just a secondary carbocation. Here it is tertiary carbocation. So it is more stable. Now, we have this alkyl group. So it will undergo 1,2 methyl shift. Why it is undergoing 1,2 methyl shift? We generally use to shift whatever it is there from this oxygen, right? This oxygen has to generate C double bond O. But in this case, what is happening? We have one more oxygen next to carbocation center. So this alkyl group will undergo 1,2 methyl shift, 1,2 methyl shift. So instead of generating this oxygen, a carbonyl group, this oxygen now will generate the carbonyl. So the lone pair and this oxygen will be polarized to generate the C double bond O. This alkyl group will undergo migration. Okay, so it becomes just alcohol only. This is just alcohol only. So the product is C double bond O here, dimethyl groups here, and it is simple alcohol only. It is simple alcohol only.